Hi, I'm Rachel, S4's Chemist, and today we're going to be growing our own crystals. Crystals are an example of a solid, and solids can be categorised based on how the particles in them are arranged. If the particles have a neat ordered pattern, we say they are crystalline. If there is no set pattern, we say they're amorphous. Crystalline solids can be further categorised based on the bonds that hold the pattern in place. These bonds can either be covalent, metallic, or ionic. The crystals we will be growing today come from ionic crystalline solids. Ionic solids are held together by the electrostatic forces between the ions. Ions are charged particles. They can be either positive or negative. The forces that hold ions together are known as electrostatic forces, and they are based on attraction and repulsion between ions. If you have two positive ions, they will repulse each other and separate, and if you have two negative ions, they will also repulse each other and separate. However, if you have a positive ion and a negative ion, they will be attracted to each other and form a bond, and this is what holds ionic crystalline solids together. Ionic solids are also sometimes known as salts. So today we will be using a salt to grow our own crystals. This isn't the kind of salt you'd find in table salt. It's a different kind of salt known as alum. Alum is a salt of aluminium sulfate, and it is commonly used for pickling. So let's see what else we need. In your S4 Science delivery box, you will find 2 plastic jars and the crystal growing bag. Inside that bag, there will be a lollipop stick, some fishing wire, a small piece of pipe cleaner, and a bag of alum salt. So we've already weighed this, and you've got approximately 2 tablespoons of alum in your bag. You will also need a spoon and some kitchen roll and access to hot tap water. We don't have taps in the S4 classroom, so I've already filled a flask with hot water to keep it nice and warm, and now I'm going to add some of it to one of my jars. So I want my jar to be about half full. Next thing I'm going to do is take my alum salt and pour it in. I'm then going to give that a good stir to help it dissolve. So the point of doing this is that you make a saturated solution. So a saturated solution is a solution that has more solute dissolved in it than the solvent would normally like to hold. To do this, we have made the water hot so it can dissolve more. And as the water cools down, small crystals will begin to form where the water can't hold on to them anymore. Okay, so looking at that, I can see it's still cloudy, but I can't see any solid particles in it anymore. So I'm going to add my small piece of pipe cleaner, and this just gives the crystal something to form around. And I'm going to leave that in a warm place overnight for my seed crystals to grow. However, I don't have time to wait today, so I'm going to use some crystals I prepared earlier. So here is a solution I set up yesterday. I can see there are some nice crystals in the bottom of that. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to pour the liquid into my remaining clean jar. I find it can help to use the back of the spoon to guide the water into the right place. Okay, so now with the liquid gone, I can see I have a number of small crystals at the bottom. The easiest thing to do here is going to be to take a sheet of kitchen roll, fold it in half, take my spoon, remove the pipe cleaner, and then scrape the crystals out onto the kitchen roll. So you can see they're still quite small, but they're a lot bigger than the powder that I put in. So what you're going to do next is you are going to choose your favourite crystal to grow on into a bigger crystal. So you're going to look for one that's fairly large and has a fairly regular shape. I am going to use this crystal. So I'm just going to make sure it's nice and dry, and that will make it easier for the next step. The next step is a little fiddly. You are going to use the fishing line and tie it to the end of the crystal you have chosen. So the easiest way I find to do this is to tie a slip knot and then put my crystal into it and tighten it up. If you're struggling, you may need to get an adult to help you. Okay, so once you have it tied on, you're going to take your lollipop stick and you're going to tie the opposite end of your fishing line to the stick. But the first thing you want to do is check. In your pot that now has your liquid in it, place the end of the crystal in, and you want it suspended in the liquid, but you don't want it touching the bottom or any of the sides. So for me, I want to leave about this much of the string free. So I'm going to take my lollipop stick and wrap it here. I'm going to wrap it round a couple of times so it's nice and secure. And then I'm going to tie another knot to hold it in place. If you have some scissors and the string is a little bit loose, you may want to trim the ends, but if you haven't got scissors around, that doesn't matter. You can just put it in the liquid as it is. So I'm just going to put this in here and leave my crystal to grow. Over time, the water will evaporate and more of the crystals will come out, and your seed crystal will serve as a nucleation point or a center for them to attach to and grow around. Here's a crystal that took me around 2 weeks to grow, so you can see how big it is compared to the powder we started with. Thank you for watching. Today we've been growing our own crystals. See you again soon. Bye!